is News 4 Tucson, live at 10.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Vinzing.
And I'm Leah Shahid.
Attorney General William Barr spent today at the Justice Department reviewing Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report on potential Russian meddling in the 2016 election.
Barr will soon decide what will be released to Congress and what will be released to the public. Jennifer Johnson has the latest.
Thank you for being here today.
Attorney General William Barr at the Justice Department examining Special Counsel Robert Mueller's confidential report on the Russia investigation. Barr deciding what will go to Congress and possibly the public after Mueller ended his 22-month probe.
Even the president and his attorneys are now saying release the full report. So it's my hope we'll get there as quickly and as reasonably as possible.
Democrats held a mid-afternoon conference call but got word they'd stay in the dark for at least another day. President Trump went golfing in Florida, reportedly in good spirits. Before leaving the White House, he again said,
"There was no collusion, there was no obstruction, everybody knows it. It's all a big hoax."
Mueller's investigation wrapped up without any additional indictments. Welcome news to the Trump administration, who feared a final round of charges could ensnare more Trump associates or possibly family members. Lawmakers still want answers.
There were dealings by Donald Trump himself on the Moscow Trump Tower. His son welcomed incriminating information or derogatory data about Hillary Clinton.
Mueller's investigation netted 34 indictments or guilty pleas, 6 from the president's campaign, but none of them were accused of helping Russia meddle in the 2016 presidential election. 3 Russian companies were charged with trying to sway the outcome. Mueller also looked into whether the president tried to obstruct the investigation. While Mueller is done, President Trump still faces several congressional investigations and a separate probe about hush money paid to 2 women and possible campaign finance violations. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
And while we wait for more information on the report, a local author and expert is sharing his thoughts on the Mueller report and what we can expect. News 4 Tucson's Eric Fink has more.
We are now left to wait.
The Attorney General has a lot of discretion under the existing regulations about how much to disclose. The public is virtually unanimous in its support for full disclosure of the Mueller report.
Andrew Cohen is an author and law professor at the U of A who specializes in special counsels. As Congress waits to get briefed about the contents of the report, just how much is disclosed could set off another battle entirely.
Potentially court battles and certainly political battles between Barr and Congress about how much of the Mueller report Congress and the public get to see.
The Mueller investigation consumed the better part of 2 years.
It's actually relatively short compared to other comparable special prosecutor investigations like Ken Starr's investigation of Bill Clinton.
Cohen very closely watched the last 22 months for his book, Prosecuting the President. And he says the fact that Robert Mueller was able to complete his investigation in these politically divided times and despite opposition is a victory for the American people.
It is vitally important for any democracy that it possess the capacity to conduct a serious and thorough and independent investigation of grave allegations of wrongdoing against its senior leadership. Despite the president's best efforts to undermine the Mueller investigation, to subvert the rule of law, and to turn the Justice Department into the president's personal plaything.
He suggests we should all keep an open mind.
There is a huge amount that we don't know and not jump to conclusions about the fact that the special prosecutor has not decided to pursue additional indictments and assume that this amounts to an exoneration of the president.
Exoneration or not, this is a turning point for President Trump and his presidency, and will be remembered for generations.
It's likely to be a significant moment when historians look back and write the history of this period, this tumultuous period in the life of American democracy.
Eric Fink, News 4 Tucson.
Around 200,000 people are expected to attend this weekend's air show at the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. News 4 Tucson's Danelle Confair met up with one of the performers who says she's flying right through the glass ceiling. It's a story you'll see only on 4.
I fly this beautiful red 1940 Boeing Stearman. Vicky Benzing has flown all over the world.
It's the best view from the office in the world. Look out over the scenery, see the sunsets, see the cloud formations. It never gets old.
This veteran pilot has been in this seat for more than 3 decades.
I started flying 37 years ago, and you didn't hear female voices on the radio very often back then. But more and more today, there are lots of women in aviation.
In her career, she's overcome barriers in and out of the skies.
Flying through the glass ceiling, yep. The industry is mostly male, so definitely being a woman stands out.
She's one of the dozen performers at this weekend's air show, showing children that your dreams can take flight.
Anybody who's considering learning to fly really should go out and go for it. Once you go up and try something and overcome your fear, it gives you so much more self-confidence.
I'm Danelle Confair, News 4 Tucson.
And that air show isn't the only big thing happening in Tucson this weekend. The 4th Avenue Spring Street Fair started on Friday and finishes up tomorrow. It will be open from 10 a.m. to dusk. The city expects about 300,000 people to come out for the big event. So what kind of weather are we going to be looking at, Allie?
Hey Nick, oh my goodness, this is actually the perfect weekend to get outdoors. So whether you're going out to the street fair or the air show, you're gonna have beautiful temps. Right now we're cooling down just a little bit. 60 degrees outside the airport. Winds are very calm coming out of the south at 6 miles an hour. 58 in Sahuarita and Tucson Estates, also in Midtown. 55 on the east side. 59 in Oro Valley. 60 degrees at Dove Mountain. 56 over in Marana. Santa Cruz and Cochise County. 51 in Sassabee, Nogales. Sierra Vista 53, and also in Bisbee and Douglas. We're going to have gorgeous temperatures, and as you can see, we are just dry conditions right now. So we're going to reach a high of 77 tomorrow, possibly 78. We'll talk about how long that this warming trend is going to stay with us. We might even be seeing the 90s. We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. Aaliyah?
All right, thanks, Allie. The next time you cast a ballot at an early voting center, you'll need to show some ID. Governor Doug Ducey signed a measure yesterday requiring early voters to provide the same forms of identification they'd have to show on Election Day. Arizona requires voters show a driver's license, tribal enrollment card, or any government-issued ID with a photo and an address. You can also show 2 utility bills. They also have to have an address.
A planned open-pit copper mine near Tucson has cleared the final permitting step. Toronto-based Hudbay Mineral Incorporated says the U.S. Forest Service has approved the operations plan for the project. Earlier this month, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers issued a key water permit for the mine. Hudbay says the mine will eventually create 500 jobs. Environmentalists have opposed the project for years, saying it would damage water resources and scar the land.
And we have a traffic alert to let you know about. Starting on Monday, part of the intersection at Marana and Sandario roads will be closed for several days. That's because crews will be constructing a traffic control median. The town of Marana says traffic on Sandario will not be impacted, but those traveling on Marana Road will want to use the traffic circle located at Sandario and Marana Main Street. That area expected to reopen on Friday, March 29th.
Coming up next on News 4 Tucson Live at 10, a group of volunteers adopted a roadway to clean it up, all in honor of a loved one.
Plus, a temporary center for the Diocese of Tucson will be closed in a couple of days. We'll have the details when we come right back.
Investigating for you. This is News 4 Tucson.